So today we're going to talk briefly about how to reform cases to make ammunition for calibers that nobody really makes ammunition for anymore. In this specific case, I've been transforming 50 BMG brass into 13 millimeter TuF TUF Tank und Flieger brass for the Tankgewehr, and it's necessitated because nobody makes brass for the Tankgewehr since RCC went out of business. Um, One of the big challenges with this, as you can see here, the 50 BMG has a very pronounced and sharp shoulder that sits kind of high on the case, whereas the Tankgewehr round is just kind of a thin, smooth taper and doesn't really shoulder until a lot further down the cartridge casing. Um, Interestingly enough, this round here is from June of 1918, and this one is from November. And you notice even just between that 5 months, the Germans changed a little bit how they manufactured brass. These two came from the same factory, but the later round has crimping up here that's not really evident on the first one, and then has a much more defined neck, but it still sits a lot lower than the 50 BMG brass. The other issue is that the 50 BMG is a rimless cartridge, whereas the 13 millimeter TuF is semi-rimmed. Um, but it's fine. It just is a little bit of a pain to extract when it's done. So anyways, first thing you do is you take your 50 BMG brass and I recommend one of these little pipe cutters, and you're going to trim the neck down until the cartridge case length is roughly the same as the 13 millimeter shell. Once that neck is trimmed, then you take your blowtorch and a glove, hold the case with your gloved hand, and take the blowtorch and heat up the neck of the cartridge. You basically want to keep the flame on there until it starts to turn a little bit orange. It's basically annealing the brass and making it softer and more malleable. And then as soon as that's done, what I've been doing is I take the brass with my gloved hand, because the whole case is going to heat up really, really hot. So again, nice thick gloves, mandatory. And then I take that and I basically roll it back and forth across an anvil while repeatedly striking it with a mini sledgehammer, trying to do even and consistent strikes. But I basically just turn it and hammer it. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour, just depending on how the brass feels like cooperating and how consistent your hammer strikes are. But once you get it, to this point where it's kind of just one little long skinny taper and that shoulder smoothed out, it's good to check and make sure that it'll actually chamber in the gun. But then once it does, you're ready to prime the case, and then you can load a blank charge, fire it with the blank charge, and that'll form the brass to the chamber. And then once the brass is fire formed, then you can go ahead and reload and make your 13 millimeter Tank und Flieger rounds. There's one company that still makes dies that you can get to reload these. Well, you have to make sure you have a large enough press to run those dies. And then again, the only issue is that these are rimless cartridges, so they don't really extract well. But you can kind of pop them out with a screwdriver, or do what I did and buy the longest cleaning rod that you can find on Amazon, and then attach another smaller cleaning rod to the end of that so that it's long enough that you could actually pop the cases out from the muzzle with the ramrod. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully soon, here in a couple weeks, we'll actually have a video firing some of these on the channel. And yeah, looking forward to it. See you then. Stay tuned. Gonna try to get out to the lake in the next couple of weeks and film a bunch more videos. So Yeah, thanks for being subscribed, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.